Buying your first car is a big moment. When you're in the military, it's often at your first duty station. It's an exciting time, but it can also be stressful, especially if you have no car buying experience. There is a lot to know, and once you get through that stressful time of buying a car, it's not over. The first car isn't going to be a car that lasts you forever. You'll need to buy another one at some point in your life. Because of that, car buying is a lifelong skill you'll need for financial success. Hey, I'm Lacey Langford, the Military Money Expert. I help military service members, veterans, and their spouses stop being fearful of money and start having control and confidence with it. If you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and check out all the links I mentioned in this video, which will be in the description below. Today's What the Heck Wednesday is car buying mistakes that will kill your finances in the military. Let me break down an all too common scenario of service members buying a car. You walk into a car dealer and tell them the only payment you can afford is $350 a month. But you want a Dodge Charger and you don't have any money for a down payment. The dealer says, "I'm not sure about that, but let me talk to my mysterious, never to be seen manager and see what we can work out." Then he disappears a while, leaving you to stare at all of his car selling awards hanging on the wall. He then returns with the great news that somehow they can make it work for you, that $350 payment. Yay! Not yay. What you don't realize before you sign the bottom line is that it's a huge financial mistake on multiple levels. The way they make any payment you say work is by extending the term of the loan and increasing your interest rate, because the longer you have a car loan, the higher the interest rate is going to be. Instead of a reasonable 5-year or 60-month loan term, they'll make it a 7-year loan. By increasing your loan length and an interest rate, you'll be paying more each month in interest, paying more interest over the length of the loan, and therefore paying a lot more for the car than it is worth. But paying too much for the car isn't the only problem in this scenario. There's another one that service members don't see coming until it is too late. It is called negative equity. What is negative equity? I am so glad that you asked. Negative equity is when you owe more on the car than it is worth, aka upside down or underwater on your loan. It depends on the car, but most negative equity comes from not making a big enough down payment and having a long loan term for your car. When you have negative equity on a car, it 100% limits your smart financial decision making. You are between a rock and a hard place. Now you're locked into a 7-year loan on a car that is worth less than you owe on it, and oftentimes you can't afford to make the payments on it, which is a lot of times because you have other debt. Because you can't afford the payments and have been late or missing them, your credit score is also damaged. You need to sell the car, but you can't because people aren't willing to pay you more for a car than it is worth. Here are where things really start to go downhill. And I've dealt with service members and their spouses that have ended up buying a new car in spite of all of this somehow. You may be wondering how in the world a person with bad credit and owes more than a car is worth could sell the car and get a new one. Well, here is how. They roll the old upside down car payment into a new loan. Well, this doesn't make the problems of negative equity or forwarding car payments go away. In fact, it makes the problem so much worse. Here's what you should do instead to avoid car buying mistakes that will kill your finances in the military. Do your homework. You have to do research on a potential vehicle, period. You can't just go out there and wing it, or you will make financial mistakes. You don't know what you don't know. Research the type of car you're interested in, check its safety ratings and reviews, look up average prices for the ones that you want, that you're interested in. Find out how much the dealer paid for the car. You can use Consumer Reports to help research the price of vehicles. They'll even show you what a great price for the vehicle is compared to an above market price to help you make an informed decision on car buying. I'll put a link to Consumer Reports in the description below. Know your car buying budget. When you're doing your homework, you also want to consider your budget. How much can you afford to pay for your new car? What car expenses will change? Knowing the average miles per gallon so you can budget for the gas expenses, or get an insurance quote to find out if you'll be able to afford the new car's insurance. Find out average prices to replace tires and add that into your budget, especially if you are trying to get a new truck. You want to have a clear picture of what your budget will look like with your new car before you buy the car. Once you do the research and know how much your new car is going to cost, plus the expenses that will come with it, you can make a new budget. Knowing your budget will help you stay on track when negotiating the price of the new car. Get vehicle buying help. Do not be afraid to get help when it comes to car buying. A good place to start is the free car buying classes offered by Financial Services on your base or post. They'll teach you the ins and outs of buying a car in the military. As an added bonus, they'll know the local area and can help point you in the right direction and advise you of places to avoid. Do not forget to check the ban list for your installation. You definitely do not want to go to a car dealer on that list, but you won't know if they're on the list unless you actually read it. You can also use free services provided by your bank. If you're a USAA member, you can use their car buying service. Buy at the right time. You do not want to rush into buying a car. You want to take your time and buy it right. Let me tell you when a horrible time to buy a car is. Over the internet when you're in Afghanistan or another country, or the day after you return. You want to avoid making a big purchase when you're going through a major transition. When you come back from a deployment, you're not in the right headspace to buy a car. You have a lot of extra cash in your bank and have been used to making more money each month. Often service members buy vehicles right off of a deployment only to figure out later that they can't afford to make that payment. Wait and let your mind and your finances adjust before you start making major purchases. Negotiate the vehicle price. Don't just walk into the dealer and pay the price on the sticker. You've done your homework and know what the dealer paid and what other people have been paying for that car. Use the knowledge to negotiate the lowest possible price for the car. You'll be saving money in the long run by getting the price as low as possible. You don't even have to step foot in the dealership to negotiate if you don't want to. You could do it all through email. It takes the pressure off of you when you are negotiating. And don't forget to email multiple dealers in your city and surrounding area. Having all of those dealers can help you get an even better price. Car buying mistakes that kill your finances in the military can be avoided. The process doesn't have to be stressful either. Arming yourself with knowledge will help you avoid all of that. Get help from your financial readiness offices to get the education you need to make a smart financial decision when it comes to car buying. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. For more information on how to manage your money in the military, head over to lacylangford.com and sign up for my email list. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Also be assessed. When you have negative equity,